The term New Age has been around since the 80s, and generally speaking it means to most people metaphysics and an exploration of information that's an alternative to traditional sources of information about spirituality. Traditional sources meaning organized religions and the texts that go with those religions, the Bible, the Koran, the Torah, for instance. So New Age is a vast arena, but in this great evolution of consciousness that's taking place, this great evolution of spirituality, and actually the evolution of the human being, there is a different way of looking at New Age, and that's the focus of my talk today. What's new about the New Age and what's not. The name of this show is Living Wisdom, and I'm within this spiritual evolution of consciousness that's taking place, within this evolution of the human being and the spirituality of being human. There has been an awakening, a spiritual awakening within every living human being, whether they know it or not. It has had impact on them. So many people have perhaps returned to the traditional religions that they've known about, born-again Christians. There's been certainly a resurgence of interest in Christianity. But also for those many people who are not receiving answers from the old sources of religion and what those religions have said about spirituality. For those millions and millions, approximately 768 million now around the world, who are non-religious, quote unquote, they are also returning to the spiritual heritage that's outside of the organized or traditional religions. The spiritual heritage that includes, for instance, the Wicca tradition, otherwise known as witchcraft, the Druidic traditions that go back to the time of the Celts in Ireland, Wales, England, the old Mayan cultures and spirituality that associated with the Mayans. And of course in America, a vast increased interest in American Indian spirituality. A great rebirth of interest in those varying older metaphysical traditions. And it's a beautiful thing to see. We all, each one of us, has a beautiful spiritual heritage from our many, many lifetimes that includes the traditional religions of all kinds. We've had many lifetimes where we participated in the established, organized religions of the time, and also many lifetimes when we participated in the, shall we say, metaphysical aspects of spirituality. So now in this new age, for many people who are seeking their answers and their truth in the metaphysical aspect of spirituality, they are returning to the older wisdoms, the older information. But this is truly a new age. It is a new information age. A new age of spirituality. A new age of metaphysics. And it would be wise for those who find their fulfillment, find their answers in the, shall we say, metaphysical arena of knowledge, to understand that while the old age spirituality, old age metaphysics, and the old information age included the Wicca traditions, the Wicca religion, Druid, American Indian, and also the Eastern philosophies that include Buddhism. Buddhism for many is an alternative to Christianity. Many people who are drawn to Buddhism see it as a kinder, gentler belief system, a kinder, gentler religion. But Buddhism, like the old age metaphysical belief systems, and like the traditional organized religions, all of them have arisen from the past patriarchal domination, the past patriarchal civilizations and chauvinist mindset that said men and everything masculine are more valuable than anything feminine, including women. The old mindset, the old patriarchal, twisted into chauvinist mindset that says there can be but one supreme authority. Goddess worship is becoming more and more popular today for those who seek their answers in the realm of metaphysics. But goddess worship also that arises from that patriarchal chauvinistic mindset that says there can be but one supreme authority, where those who now focus on the goddess, and indeed that is a timely and beautiful focus, nevertheless, their focus is on the other side of the coin that said Father God was the singular authority, and now they're saying God, she, wink wink, is the true God, goddess worship. So that also, while the intention is quite beautiful, and the recognition that there does indeed exist a goddess is quite beautiful. But when the goddess, the true unconditionally loving goddess, does not wish to rule as singular authority, and she has a co-creator, an unconditionally loving God, and together they created all that is. So to understand that there is a higher truth, there are many higher truths that are part of the new information age about spirituality, about metaphysics, about what it is to be a human being, about what new age is for each of us. The expression of one's spirituality may certainly include the rituals and whatever else we individually feel resonates with us as a truth. But rather than making a U-turn and going backwards to the old information about what metaphysics and being a metaphysician and being a spiritual being is about, rather than making a U-turn for those who are drawn to more traditional religions and adopting all of the beliefs that are included in the old traditional religions, to see ourselves as spiritual beings who are on a continuing path of growth and change. Change is the operative word here, people. Changing inside. Understanding the higher truths that include the belief, the understanding that each one of us does create our own reality. We create it not only in our personal lives, not only in the personal relationships that we have with people. Those relationships are a reflection of what is going on inside of us, either on the conscious level in this physical lifetime, or on the subconscious level, or on the unconscious level. The information, the beliefs, the emotions, the past experiences on those subconscious and unconscious levels are helping to manifest what we experience not only in our personal life, but in the world at large. Especially what is being played out on the world stage is a manifestation of what we have not taken responsibility for and healed within ourselves on the unconscious levels and subconscious levels of our own being. There is much new information about how we can take responsibility, how we can heal the wounds from those ancient pasts, and how we can release them so that we can create from a new set of beliefs, and new attitudes, new thoughts and feelings, and make new choices. Some of the, shall we say, old age metaphysics, old age spirituality that also people are returning to includes certain tools, certain techniques, certain rituals. I'm not suggesting these be abandoned, but I'm suggesting that we can look at them with a new perspective. For instance, astrology. This new age of information, this new age of being a spiritual being, it's about taking our power back. It's about becoming a spiritual adult. And we, in the past, and indeed continue to give our power away. Give our power away to such as astrology. What do the planets say about what we should do today? Astrology is a tool. Astrology can be a guideline for when we come into a physical lifetime. We have created all of the circumstances of our lifetime, when we will be born, at what time, where in the world we'll be born, and to remind us of some of the focuses, some of the issues we wanted to work on in our current lifetime, to remind us of our life's purpose, our destiny, however you want to say it. We have created an astrological condition that exists at the time of our birth. And so one great value of astrology, if we were clueless about what our focuses are, is to have a chart done, a natal chart, I believe it's called, that will give us clues, will give us information about ourselves and what we came into this lifetime to develop and also to heal and let go of. So to have a perspective on astrology and the value of it, rather than to use it as a day-to-day guide, we always have the power of choice. There are certainly possibilities and there are probabilities, but we can decide what those are going to be and how our life is going to go. Tarot, also an ancient tool, also can be used as a tool that will give us clues to what lies in our subconscious and unconscious minds. Getting back to the American Indian spiritual tradition, the Vision Quest, the Sweat Lodge, that was part of that heritage. And to understand that in this new information age, there are different ways of going inside and finding out what lies within. A vision quest, rather than trekking for days and days to the top of a mountain or deep into the forest or isolating oneself for a period of time, a vision quest to go inside through guided meditation, through visualizations, through hypnosis, to find out what lies within each of us, the parts of us that haven't been healed. And there are many books that tell how to do this. There are therapists who specialize in that kind of guided vision quest, so to speak. It's an inner vision quest. No need to go camping on a vision quest unless you like to commune with nature, and that's always a beautiful thing. Psychics. Psychics have become more and more popular. They certainly appear on television. Some of them have been are very famous. They frequently appear on television. They've written books. Every one of us has the capacity to have intuitive or psychic insights into our own lives. That's a talent we each could develop. To understand that you can take your power back by discerning the value of the information that is coming from any source. Psychics are human beings. They have different levels, different stages of enlightenment, different stages of development or growth. And for each of us to begin by being skeptical and then evaluating the information that comes when we hear it being spoken by, quote, a psychic, unquote. If the information supports the belief that each of us is an individual, a powerful individual who can grow and change on our own, who does not have to depend on other people to tell them how to live their lives, who doesn't have to depend on other people to tell them what's in their future, because each of us decides what's going to be in our future. That's how we take our power back. That's how to have a different perspective. When we hear a psychic speaking their truth, and that's what they're doing, they're speaking their truth. Same with channeling. Channeling is more popular, more prevalent than ever. I have been a channel. I do it privately for myself, for my own personal growth. Most of my friends who share my own belief system, that each of us creates our own reality. Most of my friends channel. They have learned to do it, and there's special ways of doing it so that you protect yourself. You're not just opening to any consciousness that's floating around, because not every conscious being is coming from a place of unconditional love. So there again, to take your power back. There are a multitude of unseen being friends who would like to participate in this grand evolution of consciousness, this beautiful spiritual evolution that's taking place in our world. But again, to be discerning about what we hear them saying, what we hear them teaching as they come through the channels. Again, looking for support for us as powerful reality creators. The unseen friends who love us unconditionally would not dream of taking power away from us. They don't want to. They don't tell us what to do. But they're certainly available for guidance and for insight if we request it. But they don't interfere in our life. And then there is this other aspect of metaphysics, old age, new age, that includes visitors from other planets, visitors from other galaxies, visitors indeed from other universes. For the most part, there has been kind of an adolescent energy, an adolescent approach toward UFOs and ETs and the possibilities that they exist. It's sort of a, wow, isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? Or there's also been, rather paradoxically, an approach that is similar to some of the fundamental Christian beliefs that human beings are basically sinners and must convert themselves into a particular way of living, convert their beliefs to align with the truth in order to be saved, and if they don't do that, they are doomed to destruction. Well, in the field of metaphysics, also there has been that attitude toward extraterrestrials coming in on unidentified flying objects who will be saviors, who will lift or transform or transport those who are the believers in the truth, and then all of the dregs of society who don't also believe the same way will be left to be doomed and destroyed on good old planet Earth. Well, that is most adolescent energy. And to reiterate, this spiritual evolution, this spiritual growth that we're all embarking on, actively or passively, involves becoming a spiritual adult. It's time to let go of those childlike approaches, to let go of the childlike need to be taken care of and saved, and to let go of that adolescent energy of looking for the woo-woo part of spirituality, the woo-woo part of metaphysics. In the New Age of information, of spirituality, we each have the opportunity of creating any reality we want individually. We each have the opportunity to create any future, and there is lots of information, lots of help that can guide us. I wrote a book a few years ago called A New Spirituality Beyond Religion. And the subtitle is, With Personal Growth That Leads to Spiritual Growth, the Human Being Becomes a Spiritual Being. My book details a lot of the information that I'm sharing today. And my book is available in libraries and other places. But there are lots of other books. If you go into a New Age bookstore or a metaphysical bookstore or any bookstore that has a New Age section, there are lots of books, there's lots of information and guidance that can help you find the truth, the highest truth that resonates with you. Because that's what this is all about, finding your own path, finding your own truth, And then always being willing to open yourself to less limiting truths, to more enlightened truths. So in a sense, you're standing on your current belief system, your current truths, and then lifting up on your tiptoes and reaching high above you for an even higher truth, a more enlightened, a more loving, a more empowering truth. Each of us is a piece of Goddess and God. Each of us can become a co-creator of reality, expressing that part of Goddess and God that lie within us. There are a multitude of unseen friends available to each one of us, and we each have ways of finding the connection, finding teachers who can help us connect if we need that. So it's quite an adventure we're all on, and it gets more interesting, more exciting as the time passes and as we take our power back. I want to thank you for paying attention today, and I hope that you're stimulated to further your exploration, that is. And until the next time, goodbye.